Hey guys, it's Austin, and I know I wasn't able to cover season 1 of, Danmachi. I do think I did a review on it, so if you do want to check that out, I guess. Yeah, but anyway, so this is Danmachi season 2, and I'm going to call it Danmachi because I am not going to say its long name, because I do not have the long capacity to. So this first episode actually, I know a lot of people are going to get upset when I say this. It reminded me of Rise in the Shield Hero. It gave us a very calm beginning, then bam, just like threw it on you heavily. I'm just like, well, well. But anyway, so I'm going to run through the review and give you my first impressions on the anime. And so we see, Belle and the crew fighting off the wolves, and obviously Miko is with them, and she's actually the person that asked Belle for help, and they're actually in the middle floor, and I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool that, they're working together in a dangerous area, and, we hear Welf talk about how he thinks it's easier to have a bunch of other people with them, just to have the floor easier for them in a sense. And I like it. I honestly really do like Mikoto too, and I love Lily. If you haven't known, she's like a daughter foo. I'm gonna call them that. But we see that Belle still has this mental capacity of, well, he wants to be stronger. He wants to be, ice. He wants to be catching up to her and everything. And I think it's, pretty cool, honestly, that they kind of kept that premise. And I'm going to say right now, I'm manga only. I'm not manga only, anime only. There we go. Because I don't want to read the manga, because every time I read a manga, I end up criticizing something a bit too harshly. And I think I want to do this series differently from the other ones. I do read, the Isekai, Arafuru, and others, and even the, Do You Love Your Mother manga. I've read all those, so this is going to be a different series, just a heads up for this. But yeah, so beginning of the, the first 2 minutes of this anime was pretty good. It's well set up, and I know a lot of people get upset with JC staff with their animation, and I'm going to talk about that towards the end of this video. But anyways, getting back to, what's the anime, the first episode about, is, well, we hear, they all, after the dungeon, they go over there, and Welf's level 2. Lily thought, Welf was going to leave, but, he goes, why would I leave? Kind of thing. And Welf's a cool guy. So we see Welf, Lily, and Belle all realize they're all from a different familia, and we see Belle is actually almost close to level 3. Then we see this little runt, I'm going to call them, starting stuff with Belle and calling him a con, since he's called the record holder. And basically this is just a big setup, and it makes sense at the end of the episode. I'm just like, oh, okay, a cool little bar fight happens, obviously, and we see it's all because this guy keeps picking on Belle and the crew, and it takes a lot for Belle to snap, and he does, and he snaps at the guy, and we see Welf, Bro of the Year. I'm going to compare him to Klein from SAO. I love that guy too. Welf is the well done Klein, to say the least, and I know a lot of you SAO fans may get upset with me, but that's just my opinion. But continue on, she's throwing the cup at the little runt, and this big bar fight starts, and we see this guy literally get up and start beating up freaking Welf and Belle after they, messed up his comrades and everything. And this guy, obviously, is a big villain in this series, and it couldn't be any more clear. Hey guys, this is the villain along with who he's with. This is the villain, and I think it's Phobos or Phoebos Apollo, and he's a level 3 guy. And we see that after beta, even though I think that's his name. I'm probably getting his name wrong. Someone do correct me. It's been a little while since I watched Danmachi. I was going to watch the recap, but I'm like, I already know it, so yeah, do correct me if I'm wrong about that one. But we see him actually save Belle from, them continuing, and I think that was a cool little thing. I know a lot of people are like, why can't they become friends? I'm like, in due time, I guess. In due time. So we see Belle return home, and Hestia praises Belle, telling him that he shouldn't fight also. And Hestia was kind of happy about Belle, fighting for her, and he was kind of defending her honor. And we see that Lily isn't afraid of, the Apollo family coming for revenge. And I want to mention how Hestia is in here, completely different from the first season, about how she's kind of more of a mother figure to Belle now, and I like that. I really do. And this right here, tell him, my goddess is too important to get mad about what you say. And I like that little line, and it made me feel a little warm inside. It was well done, to say the least, but I like how, we have this aftermath of them fighting, and it kind of calms down again, and it's a really interesting way how they did it, and it's good, in my opinion. It's not like Arifuru that we have random moments of action and calming down and this, and I'm going to keep picking on Arifuru. Just I'm just so disappointed with that series. But anyways, so far, it's a great episode, and continue on with it. We see Hestia was actually surprised when, she found out what family or familia was, who they were from, and that's like, oh, what's going on? We kind of hear a little bit, later on about how they have history, and Belle goes later on to, the guild. I'm going to call it the guild. I completely forgot the name of it. I'm pretty sure someone will correct me. I'm not a professional at this, as I said, but yeah, he goes to the guild and talks to his advisor, Enya. I'm going to pronounce her name completely incorrectly, I know that, and tells her what's happening, and she kind of, hears that Hestia chewed him out, so she's like, I'm not going to bother. And basically, it's a quick rundown of, talk to his advisor like he's supposed to after something happens, and it's kind of like it shows that they're friends. They have a good friendship and relationship, and I like that, and personally, I do ship them. But what? Who do you ship in this anime? I'm actually kind of curious. Tell in the comments down below. But anyways, we see, two Apollo members show up to Belle and tell, him to give a letter to good old Hestia, and this is an invitation to a banquet. And I was just like, oh, this is really gonna get interesting, isn't it? So Belle goes back to Hestia and gives her the good old invitation to the banquet, and she brings up the point of, really bad time for the banquet. And I'm like, yeah, it is, after that entire like little war zone that he just had at the bar, yeah. And we kind of hear a little bit about Hestia talk about how Apollo and her have history, and brings up the question of what does she know about him. And we see that Apollo is kind of interested, wants to, how I put it, wanted every goddess to bring, or god, a kid from their familia, which, Hestia brings good old Belle, because she loves Belle a good amount. But can we really talk about her dress? I just love her dress. I think it's really good, and Belle looks good. And we see that Hermes is actually there along with some other gods, and some of them, you've seen if you play the Danmachi app or you saw the movie. I haven't seen the movie. I don't know when, but yeah, anyways, so we kind of see everyone that we knew from the last season, and some new faces. Some of you that haven't, checked out the other series. I know there's a side series. I forgot the name of it. Sword something, but check that one out. I do recommend it. It kind of gives you a visual of, Ice's, what she did during that time, and I think it's cool, in my opinion. I know there's a manga for it, but I haven't read that yet. I might actually read the manga if I don't understand something, so don't worry. I'm not going to use the wiki. I'm not like other YouTubers. But continue on. As I said, Hermes is there, and Taki, and I love Hermes. He's just a bro. he starts so much stuff, and it's just amazing. But continuing on, we see obviously Apollo's there, and he talks about having new meetings and everything. And we hear Apollo is a very nice person. He got into affairs, and he's very spiteful at the same time. And I was like, oh boy. And Hestia, I had to throw that in because I thought that was adorable when she was eating. Then we see Freya show up, and I'm like, oh boy, Freya's here. She wants some Belle, doesn't she? And she actually goes up to Belle, and we see before Hestia's trying to cover up Belle, like that right there. And Hestia starts to defend Belle from Freya, because, Freya was trying to advance towards Belle. And we see that good old Loki's there with Ice, and it turns into a big fight with them, Hestia and them. And I just started laughing, and they go their separate ways. And it kind of reminds us that the familias aren't in a good state. And we see Hermes show up after Belle was looking at Phobios, and he actually asked the question to Belle, why do you want to be an adventurer? Why did you come here? And Belle, basically, to sum it up, Belle says that his grandfather told him that he could become a hero, and if he went to, where he is, that he could find money, cute girls, and anything else that he desires. And I thought that was a pretty good answer, honestly, and kind of shows that Belle didn't really care about the money and the cute girls, and that how his grandfather told him to find a goddess that was pretty cute, too. I laughed so hard at that one. I thought that was hilarious. I'm like, yeah, that's what a old person would say. I know my great grandmother has said something similar to something like that, but not stuff. But we see Hermes asked if Belle is going to dance, and he goes to Ice and sets Belle up to dance with ice. And it was hilarious, and I actually quite enjoyed the little dancing here and there. And we see, Belle tried to ask Ice to dance with her, and obviously she agrees. They dance, and Belle can't dance at first, and they start to pick it up, and we see Loki and Hestia completely freak out about them dancing, and Freya, I started cracking up so hard that she said, basically, hey, can we get a bunch of Minotaurs over here and stop them from dancing? Then we kind of get this scene of, Apollo showing up and kind of wanting revenge, and this is the big setup that we all kind of, we got little hints and foreshadowing through this episode, and we see this entire thing was just set up and to make Belle look bad, and I know a lot of Danmachi fans are going to get upset when I say this, but it reminds me of the Rise of the Shield Hero, and I like it. That's why I'm going to compare it to the Rise of the Shield Hero, because I enjoyed Rise of the Shield Hero, and this right here, this is how you do a first episode. Arifuru, pay attention, take notes, please, the director, but overall, we see, at the end, Apollo challenging Hestia to a war game, and basically if Belle loses, Belle is Apollo's. And now, going to my final, thoughts on this episode. This was actually, as I said, well done. The animation, there's a little CG stuff like the horse that was a little wonky, but overall, it was pretty good for a first episode, and I can't wait for the second episode, honestly, and it's really good. And I wasn't expecting we have Isekai Cheat Magician in this, and just overall thoroughly impressed. And Belle got Naofumied, just as the title said, and what a great way to start this second season. And I probably may actually pick up the manga. If people that do read the manga or read the light novels, tell me if it's actually worth picking up, and do you think I should read it, to say the least. But that's just, I'm going to ask you that. But overall, what did you guys think of this first episode? Did you think it was meh, it was okay, or is it really good or really bad? Tell me in the comments down below. But anyways, guys, thank you for watching this video. I know some of you actually, I put a poll on Twitter and in my Discord about what I'm going to do my first impressions on next, and that's going to be, the Naofumied Isekai that a lot of you wanted me to do, so wait for that for tomorrow, because currently I am slowly burning up in my room while doing this review, so I can't wait to see you guys tomorrow. But thank you for watching. Share this video. If you're new here, subscribe. I'm going to be covering the Danmachi Season 2, most likely. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video. This has been Austin, and I'm signing out. Peace.